I have a question on this, and I'm just watching Only Murders in the Building, and they have one of these. What does this do?
There's just two different microphones, and I think it just crosses, and
Okay.
then you have the option of hooking up a cable too. So like if you want to do like extra mics, so it kind of does that.
I'm like a techno Luddite, man.
And I'm very low, so I probably totally described it wrong. But it sounds good.
It picks up more of the sound and gives you that different ambience.
Okay. All right, I'll buy it.
Compared to mine, which is just one directional.
Omnidirectional.
So tell us a little bit about the story and where you came from with it.
Well, Jim Krieg got John Semper and myself together, and he's like, I'm thinking of doing a John Stewart Green Lantern story, and we want to have him paired up with Ollie, Green Arrow, instead of one of the big three, so he can step out to the fore, right? And it's a nod at Hard Traveling Heroes to have him along, and we want to mix it with Apocalypse Now.
Yes, it's been a big theme. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah. So well, if you look at that first scene, say in Apocalypse Now, and you see Martin Sheen, and he's broken, and you know that he's going to have to come to a reckoning with whatever is broken, and that reckoning is going to have to take place back in the jungle, right? So we see John Stewart. He has PTSD, and he is also broken. And so through the thing, while he doesn't have to go back to the jungle or the desert, we're going to bring him out to another battlefield where he is going to gain clarity, and by going through that crucible, become whole again. Yeah, that sounded pretty cool.
So with you guys only give us 90 minutes or so to like try to compile a lot in that little bit of time, like what do you choose? How do you choose what you don't or do put into these type of stories?
That's a Butch question. No. But obviously we pitch a story to Butch, who is the executive producer, and before that to Jim, and then we go, get everybody in the room. And at first it's like, don't limit yourself.
Right.
And then they limit us later. So we'd love to do everything. These things are supposed to be 72 minutes. Butch did some of his animator magic and made this one like 15 minutes more. So I don't know, some of them come out longer, some of them are 72. This one seems to be like, it feels like a real movie, like it's a little deeper than normal, I think.
So if this is so influenced by Apocalypse Now, I'm just curious if there's this is probably a spoiler, is there a Colonel Kurtz type figure for John Stewart?
Yes. And I cannot say more than that, but you'll see in a bit.
Thank you.
I want to circle.
That's a good question.
Well, the other question I had is like, I hope there's no cows in it, but
No cows?
the famous cow scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, where they chop.
Yeah, that one.
I wanted to circle back to the PTSD question. Is that something from the comics, or was that an original concept, and what made y'all decide to?
Well, I don't, while I haven't read, my reading is spottier after 2010 when I'm really working, right? So maybe that was in there somewhere, but I don't remember it. So I think it's a part of the original concept that we were going for, that he came back, and it's a universal soldier, problem. So we thought we could kind of brush against it here in this fantastical story. I'm not saying we can cure PTSD, right? Like going having a space adventure, but
And that brings me to my next question. Is there any point where, like, there's a therapy or maybe like a group session where they're talking about trauma? I'm very interested in like stories of Black men talking about trauma and being vulnerable, and that seems like this is something that really led.
You know what? Well, I wouldn't say that the cartoon could do any work of a specialist. All right, let's not do that. But there was one of the questions that I get asked is, was there anything that got cut that you really missed? And the conversations between Hawk Girl and Jon Stewart about what makes a true warrior, and she's like, no mercy, kill everybody, chop their heads off. That is what makes a true warrior. And it's like, and he was kind of like, well, he's just gonna do that. I don't know if that's right anymore, And we had to trim a lot of that. And that I missed that a bit.
Well, out of all the hundreds of Green Lanterns you could choose from, why go to Jon Stewart? Why make him the focal point of this particular movie?
Well, I mean, in one way, it's kind of like overdue that Jon Stewart, he's such a cool character. I mean, we have this triumvirate, DC triumvirate with Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. Many people consider Flash would be the big four. I would posit that Jon Stewart should be raised in, to a big five position with them, that he should be raised up and focused more on, right? So if this animated feature makes anyone in the live action world have an idea of like, maybe we should do a live action Jon Stewart Green Lantern movie, kick ass. Let's do it. I'll be in the theater as a fan.
You feel like the new art style that they're using for these new DC movies, animated movies, fits what you were trying to do perfectly?
I am not qualified. I'm not an art person, I think some of the scenes look absolutely beautiful. When Ganthett's ship is burning and going into the thing, they have a little alien, like the sound effects, the alien klaxon and stuff. I'm like, wow, he's going down in style. Beautiful if he's going to crash his ship. And the big battle sequence where all that stuff is happening, I'm like, wow, this looks great. I forgot what your question was.
the art style to what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah, so the art style, I'm forgetting.
This all started with the Superman Man of Tomorrow, then the Batman Long Halloween.
Yes. So previously, James Tucker, he used Phil Barrasso, and it goes top down, I guess, from character design and the supervising executive producer, right? So once you change them, you are definitely going to get a completely different look because they don't want to ape each other's style, and they're going to go their own way. So it's more of an art question. I'm used to I grew up with Filmation stuff. I mean, you go look at Filmation Green Lantern where he's riding someone through space, and it just looks dumb. And I was enjoying that. So everybody is. I think all of the stuff that comes out is beautiful, So I guess I'm not your guy. I'm coming down hard on it. I'm not quite sure the frame aspect ratio.
So I feel like I missed the point where they say, what was your position with this movie?
I am one of the co-writers.
Okay, so writing. Okay.
Yeah.
This is why I'm like.
Yeah. You thought I was like.
I was misinformed it.
Sorry.
So I guess my question would have been, how many scripts would you have had to go through before you reached that final one?
This was one of the easiest developments because John Semper actually gave me my first job writing in Hollywood on The Amazing Spider-Man of the 90s that he was the showrunner and producer for. And so we just worked really well together. And I went to film school with Jim Krieg, and I've done a bunch of stuff with him also, and I've done a couple with Butch. So just kind of putting all that together. They had some great ideas, and we just had to execute them. And I feel, in some ways, it's like we're still waiting for the big notes to come. And it's like, well, no, it's done.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Glad I got that cleared up.
Yeah.